Audiobook Gitanjali, composed by Rabindranath Tagore. Chapter 1. Thou hast made me endless, such is thy pleasure, this frail vessel, thou impetuest again and again, and fillest it ever with fresh life. This little float of a reed thou hast carried over hills and dales and hast breathed, though it meadows internally new. At the immortal touch of thy hands, my little heart loses its limits in joy and gives birth to utterance ineffable. Thy infinite gifts come to me only on these very small hands of mine. Ages pass and till thou purest comma, and still there is room to fill. Chapter 2. When thou commandest me to sing, it seems that my heart would break with pride, and I look to thy face, and tears come to my eyes. All that in harsh dissonant in my life melts into one sweet harmony, and my adoration spreads wings like a glad bird on its flight across the sea. I know thou takes pleasure in my singing. I know that only as a singer I come before thy presence. I touch by the edges of far spreading wing of my song thy feet, which I could never aspire to reach. Drunk with the joy of singing, I forget myself and call thee friend who art my Lord. Chapter 3. I know not how thou singest, my master. I ever listen in silent amazement. The light of thy music illumines the world. The life breath of thy music runs from sky to sky. The holy stream of the music breaks through all stony obstacles and rushes on. My heart longs to join in the song, but vainly struggles for a voice. I would speak, but speech breaks not into song, and I cry out baffled, ah, thou hast made my heart captive in the endless masses of thy music, my master. Chapter 4. Life of my life, I shall ever try to keep my body pure, knowing that thy living touch is upon all my limbs. I shall ever try to keep all untruths out from my thoughts, knowing that thou art that truth which has kindled the light of reason in my mind. I shall ever try to drive all evils away from my heart and keep my love in flower, knowing that thou hast thy seat in the most shrine of thy heart. And it shall be my endeavor to reveal thee in my actions, knowing it is thy power gives me strength to act. Chapter 5th. I ask for a moment's indulgence to sit by thy side. The works that I have in hand I will finish afterwards. Away from the sight of thy face, my heart knows no rest nor respite, and my works becomes an endless toil in a soreless sea of toil. Today the summer has come at my window with its sighs and murmurs, and the bees are playing their minstrelsy at the court of the flowering grove. Now it is time to sit quiet face to face with thee and to sing dedication of life in this silent and overflowing leisure. Chapter 6. Pluck this little flower and take it. Delay not. I fear lest it droop and drop into the dust. It may not find a place in thy garland, but honor it with a touch of pain from thy hand and pluck it. I fear lest the day end before I am aware, and the time of offering go by, though its color be not deep and its smells be faint, use this flower in thy service and pluck it while there is time. Chapter 7. My song has put off her adornments. She has no pride of dress and decoration. Ornaments would mar our union. They would come between thee and me. Their giggling would drown thy whispers. My poet's vanity dies in shame before thy sight. O master poet, I have sat down at thy feet. Only let me make my life simple and strength like a flute of reed for thee to fill with music. The child who is decked with princess robes and who has jeweled chains round his neck loses all pleasure in his play. His dress hampers him at every step, in fear that it may be frayed or stained with dust. He kept himself from the world and is afraid even to move. Mother, it is no gain, thy bondage of finery, if it keep one shut off from healthful dust of the earth, if it rob one of the right of entrance to the great fair of common human life. O fool, to try to carry thyself upon thy own shoulders. O beggars, to come to beg at thy own door, leaves all thy burdens on his hands, who can bear all and never look behind in regret. Thy desire at once puts out the light from the lamp in touches with its breath. It is unholy. Take not thy gifts, though its unclean hands aspect only what is offered by scared love. Chapter 9 finish. Chapter 10. Here is thy footstool, and there rest thy feet, where live in poorest and lowest and lost. When I try to bow to thee, my obeisance cannot reach down the depth where thy feet rest among the poorest and lowest and lost. Pride can never approach to where thou walkest in the clothes of the humble among the poorest, lowest, and lost. My heart can never find its way to where thou keepest company with companionless among the poorest, the lowest, and the lost. Chapter 11. Leave this chanting and singing and telling of beads, whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with doors all shut. Open thy eyes and see thy God is not before thee. He is there where the tiller is tilling the hot ground and where pathmaker is breaking stones. He is with them in sun and in shower, and his garment is covered with dust. Put off thy holy mantle, and even like him come down on the dusty soil. Deliverance, where is the deliverance to be found? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. Come out of thy meditation and leave aside thy flower and incense. What harm is there if thy clothes become tattered and stained? Meet him and stand by him in toil and in sweat of thy brow. Chapter 12. The time that my journey takes is long, and the way of its long. I come out on the chariot of the first gleam of light, and pursued my voyages through the wilderness of world, leaving my track on many a star and planet. It is most distance course that comes nearest to thyself, and that training is the most intricate, which leads to the utter simplicity of it tune. To come to, to his own, and one has a wonder though all the outer world stories, the innermost shrine at the end. My eyes stared far and wide before I set them and said, here art thou. The question and the cry, oh where, melt into tears of a thousand streams and deluge the world with the flood of the assurance I am. Chapter 13. The song that I came to sing remains unsung to this day. I have spent my days in stringing and in unstringing my instrument. The time has not come true. The words have not been rightly said, only there is the agony of the wishing in my heart. The blossom has not opened, only the wind is singing by. I have not seen this face, nor have I listened to his voice, only I have heard his mental footsteps from the road before my house. The live song day has paused in spreading his seat on the floor, but the lamp has not been lit, and I cannot ox him into my house. I live in the hope of meeting with him, but this meeting is not it. Chapter 14. My desires are many, and my cry is pitiful. But ever didst thou save me, my heart refuses, and this strong mercy has been wrought into my life though and though. Day by day thou art making me worthy of the simple great gifts that thou gavest to me unasked. This ox, this sky and the light, this body and the life and the mind, saving me from pearls of overmuch desires. There are times when I languidly linger, and times when I awaken and hurry in search of my goal, but cruelly thou hidest thyself from before me. Day by day thou art making me worthy of the full expectance of refusing me ever and anon, saving me from pulse of weak, uncertain desire. Chapter 15. I am here to sing the song in this hall of thine. I have a corner seat. In thy world, I have no work to do. My useless life can only break out in tunes without a purpose. When the hour strikes for thy silent worship at the dark temple of midnight, command me, my master, to stand before thee to sing. When in the morning air the golden harp is tuned, honor me commanding my presence. Chapter 16. I have had my invitation to this world festival, and thus my life has been blessed. My eyes have been seen, and my ears have heard. It was my part at this feast to play upon my instrument, and I have done all I could. Now I ask, has the time come at last when I may go in and see thy face and offer thee my silent salutation? Chapter 17. I am only waiting for love to give myself up at last into his hands. That is why it is so late, and why I have been guilty of such omissions. They come with their laws and their courts to bind me fast, but I evade them ever, for I am only waiting for love to give myself upon at lost into his hands. People blame me and call me heedless. I doubt not they are right in their blame. The market day is over and work is all done for the busy. Those who came to call me in vain have gone back in anger. I am only waiting for love to give myself up at last into his hands. Chapter 18. Clouds heap upon clouds, and it darkens. Ah, love, why dost thou let me wait outside at the door all alone? In the busy moments of the noontide work, I am with the crowd, but on this dark, lonely day, it is only for thee that I hope. If thou showest me not thy face, if thou leavest me wholly aside, I know not how I am to pass the long rainy hours. I keep gazing on the far away gloom of the sky, and my heart wanders wailing with the restless wind. If thou speakest not, I will fill my heart with thy silence and endure it. I will keep still and wait like the night with steady vigil, and its head bent low with patience. This morning will surely come, the darkness will vanish, and thy wise pour down in golden stream, breaking through the sky. Then thy words will take wing in song from every one of my birds' nests. Thy melodies will break forth in flowers in all my forest groves. Chapter 20. On the day when the lotus bloomed, alas, my mind was straying, and I know is not. My basket was empty, and the flower remained unheeded. Only now and again a sadness fell upon me, and I started up from my dream and felt a sweet trace of strange fragrance in the south wind. That Vow's sweetness made my heart as with longing, and it seemed to me that it was the eager breath of the summer seeking for its completion. I knew not then that it was no near, that it was mine, and that is perfect sweetness had blossomed in the depth of my own heart. Chapter 21. I must launch out my boat. The languid hours pass by on the shore. Alas for me, the spring has done its flowering and taken leave, and now with the burden of faded, futile flowers I wait and linger. The waves have become clamorous, and upon the bank in the shady lane, the yellow leaves flutter and fall. What emptiness do you gaze upon? Do you not feel a thrill passing through the air with the notes of the fairway song floating from the other shore? Chapter 22. In the deep shadow of that rainy July, with secret steps, though walkest silent as night, eluding all watchers, today the morning has closed its eyes, heedless of the instant calls of the loud east wind, and a thick veil has been drawn over the ever wakeful blue sky. The woodlands have hushed their songs, and doors are all set at every house. Thou art the solitary wayfarer in this deserted street. O my only friend, my best beloved, the gates are open in my house. Do not pass by like a dream. Chapter 23. Art thou aboard on this astronomy night on thy journey of love, my friend? The sky groans like one in despair. I have no sleep tonight. Ever and again I open my door and look out on the darkness, my friend. I can see nothing before me. I wondered where lies thy path, by what dim shore of the ink black river, by what far eddies of the flowing forests, thou what mazy depth of gloom art thou threading thy course to come to me, my friend. And 24th chapter. If the day If the day is done, if words sing no more, if the wind has flashed tired, then draw the veil of darkness thick upon me, even as thou hast wrapped the earth with the coverlet of sleep, and tenderly closed the petals of the dropping lotus at dusk. From the tendril whose sake of the provisions is empty before the voice is ended, whose garment is torn and dust laden, whose strength is exhausted, remove shame and poverty, and renew his life like a flower under the cover of thy kindly night. Chapter 25. In the night of weariness, let me give myself up to sleep without struggle, resting my trust upon thee. Let me not force my flashing spirit into a poor preparation for thy worship. It is thou who drawest the veil of night upon the tired eyes of the day to renew its sight in a fresher gladness of awakening. Chapter 26. He came and set my side, but I woke not. What a crushed sleep it was! O miserable me! He came when the night was still. He had his harp in his hands, and my dreams become resonant with its melodies. Alas, why are my nights all though lost? Ah, why do I ever miss his sight whose breath touches my sleep? Chapter 27. Light, oh, where is the light? Kindle it with the burning fire of desire. There is the lamp, but never a flicker of a flame. Is such thy fate, my heart? Ah, death were better by far for thee. Misery knocks at thy door, and her message is that thy Lord is wakeful, and he calls thee to the love tryst through the darkness of night. The sky overcast with clouds, and the rain is ceaseless. I know not what this is that stirs in me. I know not its meaning. A moment flash of lightning drags down a deeper gloom on my sight, and my heart gropes for path to where the music of the night calls. Light, oh, where is the light? Kindle it with the burning fire of desire. It thunders and the wind rushes, screaming through the wind. The night is black as black stone. Let not the hours pass by in the dark. Kindle the lamp of love with thy life. Chapter 28. Obstinate are the trammels, but my heart aches when I try to break them. Freedom is all I want, but to hope for it I feel ashamed. I am certain that priceless wealth is in thee, and that thou art my best friend, but I have not the heart to sweep away the tenants that fills my room. The shroud that covers me is a shroud of dust and death. I hate it, it hug it in love. My drifts are lords, my failures, great my shame, secret and heavy. It when I come to ask for my good, I wake in fear lest my prayer be granted. Chapter 29. He whom I enclose with my name is weeping in this dungeon. I am ever busy building this wall all around, and as this wall goes up into the sky day by day, I lose sight my true being in its dark shadow. I take pride in this great wall. Am I plastered it with dust and sand, lest a list hole should be left in this name, and for all the care I take, lose sight of my try being. Chapter 30. I came out alone on my way to my trust, but who is this that follows me in the silent dark? I move aside to avoid his presence, but I escape him not. He makes the dust rise from the earth with his swagger. He adds his loud voice to every word that I utter. He is my own little self, my Lord. He knows no shame, but I am ashamed to come to thy door in his company. Chapter 31. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that bound you? It was my master, said the prisoner. I thought I could outdo everybody in the world in wealth and power, and I amassed in my own treasure house the money due to my king. When sleep overcame me, I lay upon the bed that was for my Lord, and on waking up, I found I was a prisoner in my own treasure house. Prisoner, tell me, who was it that wrought this unbreakable chain? It was, I said, the prisoner who forged this chain very carefully. I thought my invincible power would hold the world captive, leaving me in freedom, undisturbed this night. The day I walked at the chain with whose fires and cruel hard strokes. When at last the work was done and the links were complete and unbreakable, I found that it held me in its grip. Chapter 32. By all means, that they try to hold me secure who love me in this world, but it is otherwise with thy love, which is greater than theirs, and thou keepest me free. Lest I forget them, they never venture to leave me alone, but they possess by after day, and thou art not seen. If I call not thee in my prayers, if I keep not thee in my heart, thy love for me still waits for my love. Chapter 33. When it was day, they came into my house and said, we shall only take the smallest room here. They said, we shall help you in the worship of your God, and humbly expect only our own share of His grace. And then they took their seat in a corner, and they sat quiet and meek. But in the darkness of night, I find they break into my scared shrine, strong and turbulent, and snatch with unholy greed the offering from God's altar. Chapter 34. Let only the little be the little left of my whereby I may name thee my all. Let only that little be left of my will whereby I may feel thee on every side and come to thee in everything and offer to thee my love every moment. Let only that little be left of me whereby I may never hide thee. Let only that little my fetters be left whereby I am bound with thy will, and thy purpose is carried out in my life, and that is the fetter of thy love. Chapter 35. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms toward perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the drear desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by the into ever widening thought and action into the heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. Chapter 36. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike, strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength lightly to bear my joys and sorrows. Give me the strength to make my love fruitful in service. Give me the strength never to disown the poor or bend my knees before insolent might. Give me the strength to raise my mind high above daily trifles, and give me the strength to surrender my strength to thy will with love. Chapter 37. I thought my I thought that my vows that had come to its end at the last limit of my power, that the path before me was closed, that provisions were exhausted, and the time come to take shelter in a silent obscurity. But I find that thy will knows no end in me, and when old words die out on their tongue, new melodies break forth from the heart, and where the old tracks and lost new country is revealed with its wonders. Chapter 38. That I want thee, only thee, let my heart repeat without end. All desires that distract me day and night are false and empty to the core. As the night keeps hidden in its gloom the petition for night light. Even thus, in the depth of my unconsciousness rings the cry, I want thee, only thee. As the storm still seeks its end in peace when it strikes against peace with all its might, even thus my rebellion strikes against thy love, and still its cry is, I want thee, only thee. Chapter 39. When the heart is hard and parched up, come upon me with his shower of mercy. When grace is lost from life, come with a burst of song. When tumultuous work raises its din on all sides, shutting me out from behind, come to me, my Lord of silence, with thy peace and rest. When my beggarly heart sits crushed, shout up in a corner, break open the door, my King, and come with the ceremony of a king. When desire blinds the mind with delusion and dust, O thou Holy One, though wakeful, come with thy light and thy thunder. Chapter 40. The rain has held back for days and days, my God, in my arid heart. The horizon is fiercely naked, not the thinnest cover of a soft cloud, not the vaguest hint of a distant cool shore. Send thy angry storm dark with death. If it is thy wish, and with lashes of lightning startle the sky from end to end. But call back, my Lord, call back this pervading silent heat, still and keen and cruel, burning the heart with desire, despair. Let the cloud of grace bend low from above, like the tearful look of the mother on the day of the father's worth. Chapter 41. Where dost thou stand behind them all, my lover, hiding thyself in the shadow? They pause thee by on the dusty road, taking thee for naught. I wait here weary hours, spreading my offerings for thee, while passers by come and take my flowers one by one, and my basket is nearly empty. The morning time is past, and the noon. In the shade of evening, my eyes are drowsy with sleep. Men going home glance at me and smile and fill me with shame. I sit like a beggar mad, drawing my skirt over my face. And when they ask me what it is I want, I drop my eyes and answer them not. Oh, how indeed could I tell them that for thee I wait, and that thou hast promised to come, and how could I utter for shame that I keep my dowry this poverty? Ah, I whose this pride the secret of my heart. I sat on the grass and gaze upon the sky, and dream of the sudden splendor of thy coming. All the nights Avils golden pennons flying over thy car, and they at the roadside standing agape. When thy see thee come down from the seat to raise me from the dust, and sit at thy side, this raised beggar girl, it tremble with shame and pride, like a creeper in a summer breeze. But time glides on, and still no sound of thy wheels of thy chariot. Many a procession passes by with noise and shouts and glamour of glory. Is it only thou whose oldest stand in the shadows silent and behind them all? And only I who would wait and weep and wear out my heart in vain longing. Chapter 42. Early in the day, it was whispered that we should sail in boat, only though and I, and never a soul in the world would know of this, our pilgrimage to no country and to no end. In that shoreless ocean at thy silently listening smile, my songs would swell in melody, free as waves, free from all bondage of words. Is the time not come yet, or there works still to do? Lo, the evening has come down upon the shore, and in the fading light the seabird come flying to their nests. Who knows when the chains will be off, and the boat, like the lost glimmer of the sunset, vanish into the night. Chapter 43. The day was when I did not keep myself in readiness of thee, and entering my heart unbidden, even as one of the common crowd, unknown to me, my king, thou didst press the singest of eternity upon many a fleeting moment of my life. And today, when by chance I light upon them and see the signature, I found they have lain scattered in the dust, mixed with the memory of joy and sorrow of my trivial days forgotten. Thou didst not turn in contempt from my childish play among dust, and the step that I heard my playroom are the same that are echoing from star to star. Chapter 44. This is my delight, and thus to wait and was at thy wayside, where shadow chases light and the rain comes in the wake of the summer. Messenger with tidings from unknown skies, greet me and speed along the road. My heart is glad within, and the breath of thy passing breeze is sweet. From dawn till dusk I sit here before my door, and know what of a sudden the happy moment will arrive when I shall see. In the meanwhile, I smile and I sing all alone. In the meanwhile, the air is filling with the perfume of promise. Chapter 45. Have you not heard the silent steps? He comes, ever comes. Every moment and every age, every day and every night, he comes, ever comes. Many a song have I sung in many a mood of mind, but all their notes have always proclaimed, He comes, ever comes. And the fragrant days of sunny April, though the forest path, He comes, ever comes. And the rainy gloom of July, the night on the thundering chariot of clouds, He comes, ever comes. And the sorrow after sorrow, it is His step that press upon my heart, and it is the golden touch of these feet that makes my joy to shine. Chapter 46. I know not from what distance time thou art ever coming nearer to meet me. Thy sun and stars can never keep thee hidden from me, for I, in many a morning and eve, thy footsteps have been heard, and thy messenger has come within my heart and called me in secret. I know not what today my life is all stir, and a feeling of tremulous is joy passing through my heart. It is as if the time were come to wind up my work, and I feel in the air a faint smell of thy sweet presence. Chapter 47. The night is nearly spent waiting from him in vain. I fear lest in the morning he suddenly come to me, though when I have fallen asleep, wearied out. O friends, leave the way upon him, forbid not. If the sound of his steps does not wake me, do not try to rouse me, I pray. I wish not to call for me sleep by the clamorous chords of birds, by the riot of wind at the festival of morning light. Let me sleep undisturbed, even if my Lord comes of a sudden to my door. Of my sleep, precious sleep, which is only waits for his touch to vanish. Of my closed eyes that would open their lids only to the light of his smile, when he stands before me like a dream emerging from darkness of sleep. Chapter 48. The morning sea of silence broke into ripples of the bird songs, and the flowers were all merry by the roadside, and the wealth of gold was scattered through the rift of the clouds, while the Beasley went on our way and rapid no heed. We sang no glad song nor played. We went not to the village for the border. We spoke not a word nor smiled. We lingered not on the way. We quickened our space more and more as the time sped by. The sun rose to the mid sky and drops could in the set. Withered leaves danced, whirled in the hot air of noon. The spared boy drowsed and dreamed in the shadow of the banyan tree, and I laid myself down by the water and scratched my tired limbs on the grass. My companions laughed at me in scorn. They held their head high and hurried on. They never looked back nor rested. They vanished in the distant blue haze. They crossed many meadows and hills and passed those strange faraway countries. All honor to you, heroic host of the interminable path. Mockery and reproach pricked me to rise, but found no response in me. I gave myself up for lost in my depth of a glad humiliation in the shadow of a dim delight. The repose of the sun embroidered green gloom slowly spread over my heart. I forget for what I had travelled, and I surrendered my mind without struggle to the maze of shadows and songs. At last, when I woke from my slumber and opened my eyes, I saw thee standing my flooding and my sleep with thy smile. How I had feared that I forth path was long and wearisome, and the struggle to reach thee was hard. Chapter 49. You come down from your throne and stood at my cottage door. I was singing all alone in a corner, and the melody caught your ear. You came down and stood at my cottage door. Masters are many in your hall, and songs are sung there at all hours, but the simple choral of this voice struck at your love. One plaintive little strain mingled with great music of the world and with flower for prize, and you came down and stopped at my cottage door. Chapter 50. I had gone a beginning begging from door to door in the village path. When thy golden chariot appeared in the distance like a glorious dream, I wondered who was this king for of all kings. My hopes rose high, methought my evil days were at an end, and I stood waiting for alms to be given unasked, and for wealth scattered on all sides in the dust. The chariot stopped where I stood. The glance fell on me, and though camest down with a smile, I felt that I, the luck of my life, had come at last. Then of a sudden, thou didst hold out thy right hand and say, what hast thou to give me? Of what a kingly jest was it to open thy palm to a beggar to beg. I was confused and stood undecided, and then from my wallet I slowly took out the least little grain of corn and gave it to thee. But how great my surprise when at the day and I empty my bag on the floor to find at least little gram of gold among the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had the heart to give thee my all. The night darkened, our day's works had been done. We thought that the last guest had arrived for the night, and the doors in the village were all shut. Only some said the king was to come. We laughed and said, no, it cannot be. It seemed there were knocks at the door, and we said it was nothing but the wind. We put out the lamps and lay down to sleep. Only some said it is the messenger. We laughed and said, no, it must be the wind. There came a sound in the dead of the night. We sleepily thought it was the distant thunder, and the earth shook, the walls rocked, and it troubled us in our sleep. Only some said it was the sound of wheels. We said in a drowsy murmur, no, it must be the rumbling of clouds. The night was still dark, and when the drum sounded, the voice came, wake up, delay not. We pressed our hands on our heart and shuddered with fear. Some said, lo, there is the king's flag. We stood up on our feet and cried, there is no time for delay. The king has come. But where are lights? Where are wreaths? Where is the throne to seat him on? Shame, oh utter shame! Where is the hall, the decorations? Someone, he said, when is this cry and greet him with empty hand? Lead him into thy room, all wear. Open the doors, let the quenos cells be sounded. In the depth of the night has come to the king of our dark, drear house. The thunder roars in the sky, the darkness shoulders with lightning. Bring out the tattered piece of mat and spread it in the country yard. With the storm has come of a sudden our king of the fearful night. Chapter 52. I thought I should ask to thee, but I dared not. The rose worth thou holdest on thy neck, Thus I waited for the morning when thou didst depart to find a few fragments on the bed, and like a beggar I searched in the dawn only for a stray petal or two. Ah me, what is it I find? What token left of thy love? It is no flower, no species, no vase of perfumed water. It is thy mighty sword, flashing as a flame, heavy as a bolt of thunder. The young light of the morning comes through the window and spread itself upon thy bed. The morning bird twitters and asks, woman, what has not thou got? No, it is no flower, nor species, nor vase of perfumed water. It is thy dreadful sword. I sit and muse in wonder. What gift is this of thine? I can find no place where to hide it. I am ashamed to wear it, frail as I am, and it hurts me when I press it to my bosom. Yet shall I bear in my heart dishonored of the burden of pain, this gift of thine. From now there shall be no fear left for me in this world, and thou shalt be victorious in all my strife. Thou hast left death for my companion, and I shall crown him with my life. Thy sword is with me to equate surrender my bonds, and there shall be no fear left for me in the world. From now I leave off all petty decorations, Lord, my heart. No more shall there be for me waiting and weeping in corners, no more quietness and sweetness of dreamers. Thou hast given me thy sword for adornment, no more dolls' decorations for me. Chapter 53. Beautiful is thy vestlet, decked with stars, and cunningly wrought is married colored jewels, but more beautiful to me thy sword with its curve of lightning, like the outspread wings of the divine bird of Vishnu, perfectly poised in the angry red light of the sunset. It quivers like the one last response of life in the ecstasy of pain at the final stroke of death. It shines like the pure flame of being burning up earthly sense with one fire's flash. Beautiful is thy wristlet decked with starry gems, but thy sword, O Lord of thunder, is wrought with uttermost beauty. Travel, behold, or to think of. Chapter 54. I asked nothing from thee, I uttered not my name to thine ear. When thou tookst thy leave, I stood silent. I was alone by the well, where the shadow of the tree fell silent, and the woman had gone home with their brown earthen pitchers full to the brim. They called me and shouted, come with us, the morning is wearing on to noon. But I languidly lingered a while, lost in the midst of Wavu's musings. I heard not thy step as thou camest. Thine eyes were sad when they fell on me. Thy voice was tired as thou spokest low Ah, I am a thirsty traveler. I started up from my day dreams and poured water from my jar on thy joint plums. The leaves rustled overhead, the cuckoo sang from the unseen dark, and perfume of babla flowers came from the bend of the road. I stood speechless with the same when my name thou didst ask, indeed, what had I done for thee to keep in me remembrance? But the memory that I could give water to thee, to allay thy thirsty will cling to my heart and enfold it in sweetness. The morning hour is late, the bird sings in very notes, neem leaves rustle overhead, and I sit and think and think. Languor is upon Chapter 55. Languor is upon your heart, and the slumber is still on your eyes. Has not the word come to you that the flower is wrinkling in splendor among thrones? Wake, O the awaken, let not the time pass in vain. At the end of thy stony path in the country of virgin solitude, my friend is sitting all alone. Deceive him not. Wake, O awaken. What if the sky pants and trembles with thy heat of the midday sun? What if the burning sand spread its mantle of thirst? Is there no joy in the deep of your heart at every football of yours? Will not the harp of the road break out in sweet music of pain? Chapter 56. Thus it is that thy joy in me is so full. Thus it is that thou hast come down to me. O thou Lord of all heavens, where would be thy love if I were not? Thou hast taken me as thy partner of all this wealth. In my heart is the endless play of the delight in my life. Thy will is never taking shape. And for this, thou who art the King of kings, hast decked thyself in beauty to captivate my heart, and for this thy love loses itself in the love of thy lover, and there art thou seen in the perfect union of two. Chapter 57. Light, my light, the world feeling light, the eye kissing light, heart sweetening light. Ah, the light dances, my darling, at the center of my life. The light strikes, my darling, the chords of my love. The sky opens, the wind runs wild. Laughter passes over the earth. The butterflies spread their sails on the sea of the light. Lilies and jasmines surge up on the crest of the waves of the light. The light is shattered into gold on every cloud, my darling, and it scatters gems in profusion. Mirth is spread from the leaf to leaf, my darling, and gladness without measure. The heavens river has drowned its banks, and the flood of joy is abroad. Chapter 58. Let all the strains of joy mingle in my lost song, the joy that makes the earth flow over in the riotous excess of the gross, the joy that sets the twins brothers' life and death dancing over the wide world, the joy that sweeps in with the tempest shaking and waking all life with laughter, the joy that sits still with its tears on the open red lotus of pain, and the joy that throws everything it has upon the dust and the knows not a word. Chapter 59. Yes, I know this is nothing but thy love. O believed my heart, this golden light that dances upon the leaves, these idle clouds stealing across the sky, this passing breeze leaving its coolness upon my forehead. The morning light has flooded my eyes. This is thy message to my heart. Thy face is bent from above. Thy eyes look down on my eyes, and my heart has touched thy feet. Chapter 60. On the seashore of endless world, children meet the infinite. The sky is motionless overhead, and the restless water is boisterous on the seashore of the endless worlds. The children meet with shouts and dances. They build their houses with sand, and they play with empty shells. With withered lips, they wave their boats and smiling float them on the vast deep. Children have their play on the seashore of worlds. They know not how to swim, they know not how to cast nets. Pearl fishers dive for pearls, merchants sail in their ships, while children gather pebbles and scatter them again. They seek not for hidden treasures, and they know not how to cast nets. And the sea surges up with laughter and pale gleams the smile of the sea beast. Death dealing waves sing meaningless ballads to the children, even like a mother while rocking her baby's cradle. The sea plays with children, and pale gleams the smile of the sea beast. On the seashore of endless world, children meet. The tempest roams in the pathless sky, ships get wrecked in the trackless water, death is aboard, and the children play. On the seashore of endless world is the great meeting of children. Chapter 61. The sleep that flits on baby's eyes. Does anybody know from where it comes? Yes, there is a rumor that it has its dwelling where in the fairy village among shadow of the forest, dimly lit with glowworms. There hanging two timid birds of enchantment. From there it comes to kiss baby's eye. The smile that flickers on baby's lips when he sleeps. Does anybody know where it was born? Yes, there is a rumor that young pale beam of a crescent moon touched the edges of a vanished autumn cloud, and there the smile was first born in the dream of a dew-washed morning, the smile that flickers on baby's lips when he sleeps. The sweet, soft freshness that blooms on baby's limbs. Does anybody know where it was hidden so long? Yes, when the mother was a young girl, it lay pervading her heart in tender and silent mystery of love, the sweet, soft freshness that has bloomed on baby's limbs. Chapter 62. When I bring to you colored toys, my child, I understand why there is such a play of colors on cloud, on water, and why flowers are painted in tints. When I give colored toys to you, my child, when I sing to make you dance, I truly know why there is music in leaves and why waves send their chords of voices to the heart of the listening earth when I sing to make you dance. When I bring sweet things to your greedy hands, I know why there is honey in the cup of the flower and why fruits and secretly filled with sweet juice when I bring sweet things to your greedy hands. When I kiss your face to make you smile, my darling, I surely understand what pleasure streams from the sky in morning light, and what delight that is which the summer breeze brings to my body when I kiss you to make you smile. Chapter 63. Thou hast made me know a true friend whom I knew not. Thou hast given me seat in homes not my own. Thou hast brought the distance near and made a brother of the stranger. I am uneasy at heart when I have to leave my accustomed shelter. I forget that there abides the old in the new, and there also thou abidest, though birth and death, in this world or in others, wherever thou leadest me, it is thou the same, the one companion of my endless life, who ever thinkest my heart with bonds of joy to the unfamiliar. When one knows thee, lean, there is none, and then no door is shut. Oh, grant me my prayer that I may never lose the bliss of the touch of the one in the play of the many. Chapter 64. On the slope of the desolate river among tall grasses, I asked her, Maiden, where do you go setting your lamp with your. Chapter 65. What divine drink wouldst thou have, my God, from this overflowing cup of life? My poet, is it thy delight to see thy creation through my eyes, and to stand at the portals of my ears, silently to listen to thine own eternal harmony? Chapter 66. She who ever had remained in the depth of my being, in the twilight of gleams and of impulses. She who never opened her veils in the morning light will be my last gift to thee, my God, folded in my final song. Word have would it fail to win her. Persuasion has scratched to her its eager arms in vain. I have roamed from country to country, keeping her in the core of my heart, and around her have risen and fallen the growth and decay of my life, over my thoughts and action, my slumbers and dreams. She resigned it, dwelled alone and apart. Many a man knocked at my door and asked for her, and turned away in despair. There was none in the world who ever saw her face to face. She remained in her loneliness, waiting for thy recognition. Chapter 67. Thou art the sky, and thou art the nest as well. O thou beautiful there in the nest, it is thy love that encloses the soul with colors and sounds and odors. There comes the morning with the golden basket in her right hand bearing the birth of beauty, silently to crown the earth. And there comes the evening over the lonely meadows deserted by herds, and though the trackless paths come carrying cool draughts of peace in her golden pitcher from the western ocean of rest. But there where spreads the infinite, the sky for the soul to take her flight in regions the stainless white radiance, there is no day nor light, nor from nor color, and never, never a word. Chapter 68. The sunbeam comes upon this earth of mine with arms outstretched and stand at my door the livelong day to carry back to thy feet clouds made of my tears and sighs and songs, with fond delight thou rapest about thy starry breast that mantle of misty clouds, turning it into numberless shapes and folds and coloring it with hues ever changing. It is so light and so fleeting, tender and tearful and dark. That is why thou lovest it, O thou spotless and sinless, and that is why it may cover thy awful white light with its pathetic shadows. Chapter 69. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumults, waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death, in ebb and in flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood this moment. Chapter 70. It is it beyond thee to glad with the gladness of this rhythm, to be tossed and lost and broken in the whirl of this fearful joy. All things rush on, they spot not, they look not behind, no power can hold them back, they rush on. Keeping steps with that restless, rhapsodic music, season, come dancing and pass away. Colors, tunes, and perfumes, power in endless cascades in the abounding joy that scatters and gives up and dies every moment. Chapter 71. that I should make much of myself and turn it on all sides. That thus casting colored shadows on the radiance, such is thy Maya. Those settest a barrier in thine own being, and then callest thy served self in myriad notes. This thy self separation has taken body in me. The poignant song is echoed though all the sky in many colored tears and smiles, alarms and hopes, waves rise up and sink again, dreams break and form. In me is thy own defeat of self. This screen that thou hast raised is painted with innumerable figures, the brush of the night and the day. Behind it thy seat is woven in wondrous mysteries of curves, casting away all barren lines of straightness. The great pregnant of thee and me has overspread the sky with the tune of thee and me. All the air is vibrant, and all the ages pass with the hiding and seeking of thee and me. Chapter 72. He it is, the innermost, who awakens my being with his deep hidden touches. He it is who puts his enchantment upon these eyes and joyfully plays on the chords of my heart in varied cadence of pleasure and pain. He it is who waves the wave of this Maya in the evanescent hues of gold and silver, blue and green, and let us peep out through the folds of his feet, at whose touch I forget myself. Days come and age pass, and it is ever he who moves my heart in many a name, in many a guise, in many a rapture of joy and of sorrow. Chapter 73. Deliverance is not for me in renunciation. I feel the embrace of freedom in a thousand bonds of delight. Though ever purest, for me the fresh draught of thy wine of various colors and fragrance, filling this earthen vessel to the brim. My world will light its 100 different lamps with thy flame and place them before the altar of thy temple. No, I will never shut the doors of my senses. The delights of sight and hearing and touch will bear thy delight. Yes, all my illusions will burn into illumination of joy, and all my desires ripen into fruits of love. Chapter 74. The day is no more, thy shadow is upon the earth. It is time that I go to the stream to fill my pitcher. The evening air is eager with the sad music of the water. It calls me out into the dusk. In lonely lane there is no passer by. The wind is up. The ripples are rampant in the river. I know not if I shall come back home. I know not whom I shall chance to meet there at thy floating in the little boat. The unknown man plays upon his lute. Chapter 75. Thy gifts to us mortals fulfill all our needs, and yet run back to thee undiminished. The river has it every day work to do and hotens. Though field and hamlets, its enchants stream wind towards the washing of thy feet. The flower sweetens the air with its perfumes. Its lost service is to offer itself to thee. Thy worship does not improvise the world. From the word of the poet, men take what meanings please them, yet their lost meaning points to thee. Chapter 76. Day after day, O Lord, my life shall I stand before the chance to face to face with folded hands. O Lord of all worlds, shall I stand before thee face to face. Under the great sky, in solitude and silence, with humble heart shall I stand before thee face to face. In this laborious world of thine, tumultuous with the toil and with struggle among hurrying crowds, shall I stand before thee face to face. And I, when my work shall be done in this world, O kings of kings, alone and speechless, shall I stand before thee face to face. Chapter 77. I know thee as my God and stand apart. I do not know thee as my own and come closer. I know thee at my father and bow before thy feet. I do not grasp thy hand as my friends. I stand not where thou comest down and ownest thyself as mine, there to clasp thee to my heart and take thee as my comrade. Thou art the brother amongst my brothers, but I heed them not. I divide not my earrings with them, thus sharing my all with thee. In pleasure and in pain, I stand not by the side of men, and thus stand by thee. I shrink to give up my life, and thus do not plunge into the great waters of life. Chapter 78. When the creation was new and all the stars shone in their first splendor, the gods held their assembly in the sky and sang, "O the picture of perfection, the joy unalloyed." But once cried of sudden, "It seems that somewhere there is a break in the chain of light, and one of the stars has been lost." The golden string of their harp snapped, their song stopped, and they cried in dismay. Yes, that lost star was the best. She was the glory of all heavens. From that day, the search is unceasing for her, and the cry goes on from one to another that in her the world has lost its one joy. Only in the deepest silence of night the stars smile and whispers among themselves. When is this seeking unbroken perfection is over all. Chapter 79. If It is not my portion to meet thee in this my life. Then let me ever feel that I have missed thy sight. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of this sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours, as my days pass in the crowded market of this world and my hands grow full with the daily profits. Let me ever feel that I have gained nothing. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of this sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. When I sit by the roadside, tired and panting, when I spread my bed low in the dust, let me ever feel that the long journey is still before me. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of this sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. When my rooms have been dug out the, and the flutes sound and the laughter there is loud, let me ever feel that I have not invited into thee to my house. Let me not forget for a moment. Let me carry the pangs of this sorrow in my dreams and in my wakeful hours. Chapter 80. I am like a remnant of a cloud of autumn uselessly roaming in the sky, O my sun, ever glorious. Thy touch has not yet melted my vapor, making me one with thy light. And thus I count months and years separated from thee. If this me be thy wish, and if this be thy play, then take this fleeting emptiness of mine, paint it with colors, glade it with gold, float it on the wanton wind, and spread it in varied wonders. And again, when it shall be thy wish to end this play at night, I shall melt and vanish away in the dark, or it may be in a smile of the white morning, in a coolness of purity transparent. Chapter 81. On many an ideal day have I grieved over lost time, but it is never lost, my Lord, thou hast taken every moment of my life in thine own hands. Hidden in the heart of things, thou art nursing seeds into sprouts, birds into blossom. I was tired and sleeping on my idle bed and imagined all work had ceased. In the morning I woke up and found my garden full with wonders of flowers. Chapter 82. Time is endless in thy hands, my Lord. There is none to count thy minutes. Day and nights pass, and ages bloom and fade like flowers. Thou knowest how to wait. Thy centuries follow each other, perfection a small wild flower. We have no time to lose, and having no time, we must scramble for our chances. We are too poor to be late, and thus It is that time goes by while I give it to every querulous man who claim it, and thine altar is empty of all offerings to the lost. At the end of the day, I hasten in fear lest thy gate be shut, but I find that yet there is time. Chapter 83. Mother, I shall wave a chain of pearls for thy neck with my tears of sorrow. The stars have brought their ankles of light to deck thy feet, but mine will hang upon thy breast. Wealth and fame come from thee, and it is for thee to give or to withhold them. But this my sorrow is absolutely mine own, and when I bring it to thee as my offering, thou rewardest me with the grace. Chapter 84. It is the pang of separation that spreads throughout the world and gives birth to shapes innumerable in the infinitive sky. It is this sorrow, separation, that gazes in silence all night, for from star to star, and becomes relic among rustling leaves in rainy darkness of July. It is this overspreading pain that deepens into loves and desires, into suffering and joys in human homes. And this it is that ever melt flows in songs, though my poets hear heard. Chapter 85. When the warriors came out first from their master's hall, where had they hid their power? Where were their armor and their arms? They looked poor and helpless, and the arrows were showered upon them upon them on the day they came out from their master's hall. When the warriors marched back again to their master's hall, where did they hide their power? They had dropped the sword and dropped the bow and the arrows. Peace was on their foreheads, and they had left the fruits of their life behind them on the day they marched back again to their master's hall. Chapter 86. Death, thy servant, is at my door. He has crossed the unknown sea and brought thy call to my home. The night is dark and my heart is fearful. Yet I will take up the lamp, open my gates, and bow to him my welcome. It is thy messenger who stands at my door. I will worship him with folded hands and with tears. I will worship him, placing at his feet the treasure of my heart. He will go back with his errand done, leaving a dark shadow on my morning. And in my desolate home only my forlorn self will remain as my lost offering to thee. Chapter 87. In the desperate hope I go and search for her in all the corner of my room. I find her not. My house is small and What once has gone from it can never be regained. But infinity is thy mansion, my Lord, and seeking her, I have come to thy door. I stand under the golden canopy of thine evening sky, and I lift my eager eyes to thy face. I have come to the brink of eternity from which nothing can vanish. No hope, no happiness, no vision of a face seen though tears. Oh, dip my emptied life into that ocean, plunge it into the deepest fullness. Let me for once feel that lost sweet touch in the allness of the universe. Chapter 88. Deity of thy ruined temple, the broken strings of Veena sings no more your praise. The bells in the evening proclaim not your time of worship. The air is still and silent about you. In your desolate deviling comes the vagrant spring breeze. It brings the tidings of flowers, the flowers that for your worship are offered no more. Your worshipper of old wonders, ever longing for fever, still refused in the even today tide when fires and shadow mingle with the gloom of lost dust, he wearily comes back to the ruined temple with hunger in his heart. Many a festival day comes to you in silence, deity of the ruined temple. Many a night of worship goes away with lamp unlit. Many new images are built by masters of cunning art and carried to the holy stream of oblivion. When their time is come, only the deity of the ruined temple remains unovershadowed in deathless neglect. Chapter 89. No more noisy, loud words from me. Such is my master's will. Henceforth I deal in worshippers. The speech is my heart will be carried on in murmurings of a song. Men hasten to the king's market, all the buyers and sellers are there. But I have my untimely leave in the middle of the day, in the thick of work. Let then the flowers come out in my garden, though it is not their time, and let the midday bees strike up their lazy hum. Full many a hour have I spent in the strife of the good and the evil, but now it is the pleasure of my playmate of the empty days to draw my heart on to him. I know not why is the sudden call to what useless inconsequence. Chapter 90. On the day when the death will knock at thy door, what wilt thou offer to him? Life I will never let him go when with with empty hands. All the sweet vintage of all my autumn days and summer nights, all the earrings and gleanings of my busy life will I place before him at the close of my days when death will knock at my door. Chapter 91. O thou the lost fulfillment of life, death, my death, come and whisper to me. Day after day have I kept was for thee have I borne the joy and pangs of life. All that I am, that I have, that I hope and will my love have ever flowed towards thee in depth of secrecy. One final glance from thine eyes, and my life will be ever thine own. The flowers have been woven, and the garland is ready for the bridegroom. After the wedding, the bride shall leave her home and meet her Lord alone in the solitude of night. Chapter 92. I know that the day will come when my sight of this earth shall be lost, and life will take its leave in silence, drawing the lost curtain over my eyes. Eight stars will watch at night, morning rise as before, and hours heave like sea waves casting up pleasures and pains. When I think of this end of thy moments, the barrier of thy moments breaks, and I see by the night of death thy worlds with its careless treasures. Rare is it lowest seat, rare is it meanest of lives. Things that I have longed have for in vain, and things that I got, let them pass. Let me but truly possesses the things that I ever spurned and overlooked. Chapter 93. I have got my leave. Bid me farewell, my brothers. I bow to you all and take my departure. Here I give back the keys of my door, and I give up all claims to my house. I only ask for lost kind words from you. We were neighbors for long, but I received more than I could give. Now the day has dawned, and the lamp that lit my dark corner is out. A summons has come, and I am ready for my journey. Chapter 94. And this time, my parting, wish me good luck, my friends. The sky is first with the dawn, and my path lies beautiful. Ask not what I have with me to take there. I start on my journey with empty hands and expectant heart. I shall put on my wedding garland. Mine is not the red brown dress of the traveler. And though there are dangers on the way, I have no fear in my mind. The evening star will come out when my voyage is done, and the plaintive notes of the twilight melodies be struck up from the king's gateway. Chapter 95. I was not aware of the moment when I first crossed the threshold of this life. What was the power that made me open out into this vast mystery like a bird in the forest at midnight? When in the morning I looked upon the light, I felt in a moment that I was no stranger in this world, that is inscrutable, without name and form, had taken me in its arms in the form of my own mother. Even so, in death, the same unknown will appear as ever known to me. And because I love this life, I know I shall love death as well. The child cries out when from the right breast the mother takes it away, in the very next moment to find in the left one its consolation. Chapter 96. When I go from hence, let this be my parting word, that what I have seen is unsurpassable. I have tasted of the hidden honey of this lotus that expands on the ocean of light, and thus am I blessed. Let this be my parting word. In this playhouse of infinite form, I have had my play, and here have I caught sight of him that is formless. My whole body and my limbs have thrilled with his touch who is beyond touch, and if the end comes here, let it come, and let this be my parting word. Chapter 97. When my play was with thee, I never questioned who thou wert. I knew nor shyness nor fear, my life was boisterous. In the early morning, thou wouldst call me from my sleep like my own comrade, and lead me running from glad to glad. On those days, I never cared to know the meaning of songs thou songest to me. Only my voice took up the tunes, and my heart danced in their cadence. Now, when the playtime is over, what is this sudden sight that is come upon me? The world with eyes bent upon thy feet stand in awe with all its silent stars. Chapter 98. I will take thee with trophies, garlands of my defeat. It is never in my power to escape unconquered. I surely know my pride will go to the wall, my life will burst its bonds in exciting pain, and my empty heart will sob out in music like a hollow reed, and the stone will melt in tears. I surely know the 100 petals of a lotus will not remain closed forever, and the secret recess of its honey will be bared from the blue sky, and the eyes shall gaze upon me and summon in me in silence. Nothing will be left for me, nothing whatever, and utter death shall I receive at thy feet. Chapter 99. When I give up the helm, I know that the time has come for thee to take it. What there is to do will be instantly done. When is this struggle? Then take away your hands and silently put up with your defeat, my heart, and think it your good fortune to sit perfectly still where you are placed. These my lamps are blown out at every little puff of wind, and trying to light them, I forget all else again and again. But I shall be wise this time and wait in the dark, spreading my mat on the floor. And whenever it is thy pleasure, my Lord, come silently and take thy seat here. 100. Chapter 100. I dive down into the depth of the ocean of forms, hoping to gain the perfect pearl of the formless. No more sailing from harbor to harbor with this my weather beaten boat. The day or long paused when my sport was to be tossed on waves, and now I am eager to die into the deathless, into the audience hall by the fourth homeless. Abbas wears wells up the music of toneless strings. I shall take this harp of my life. I shall tune it to the notes of forever, and when it has sobbed out its last utterance, lay down my silent harp at the feet of the silent. Chapter 101. Ever in my life have I sought thee with my songs. It was thy own led me from door to door, and with them have I felt about me, searching and touching my world. It was my songs that taught me all the lessons I ever learned. They showed me secret paths. They brought before my sight many a star on the horizon of my heart. They guided me all the day long to the mysteries of the country of pleasure and pain, and at last to what palace gate have they brought me in the evening at the end of my journey. Chapter 102. I boasted among men that I had known you. They see your pictures in all work of mine. They come and ask me, who is he? I know not how to answer them. I say, indeed, I cannot tell. They blame me and they go away in scorn, and you sit there smiling. I put my tales of you into lasting song, and the secret gushes out from my heart. They come and ask me, tell me all your meanings. I know not how to answer them. I say, who know what they mean? They smile and go away in utter scorn, and you sit there smiling. Chapter 103. In one salutation to thee, my God, let all my senses spread out and touch this world at thy feet. Like a rain cloud of July, hung low with its burden of unsaid showers, let all my mind bend down at thy door in one salutation to thee. Let all my songs gather together their diverse strains into a single current and flow to a sea of silence in one salutation to thee, like a flock of homesick cranes flying night and day back to their mountain nets. Let all my life take its voice to its eternal home in one salutation to thee.